Hello everyone, I'm going to show you guys a really cool trap in the Blackmar-Diemer Gambit called the Halosar Trap. Now here we have d4, d5, e4, which is a Blackmar-Diemer Gambit. I used to play this a lot and it's a lot of fun, but unfortunately it's not completely sound if your opponent knows what they're doing. Now here queen b4, then you can castle to the queen side and bishop g4, and this is the beginning of the Halosar Trap. Knight out to b5. And so white is simply hanging the queen. But if the queen is captured, then there's knight to c7 checkmate. This is pretty cool. So after knight to b5, knight a6 is the very best move. But let's take a look at some possibilities. Because the knight is threatening to take here on c7. So if queen a5 is played, then simply queen takes b7. And here, if the knight were to move out to d7, queen c8 is checkmate. So that is not a good defense. If the knight moves b to d7, then we also have this checkmate, which is pretty cool. So after queen a5, queen out to b7, let's look at queen out to d5, simply trying to defend the c7 pawn. Then white will simply take the knight, and here there's this checkmate threat, there's also this rook threat, and anywhere that the knight moves, the queen is able to take black's queen, so black is just completely busted here, and white would go on to win. Okay, so after let's see, so after queen takes b7, we looked at knight to d5. Let's take a look at bishop to f3. Okay, so we looked at that as well. Yeah, so if bishop f3, then there was that knight to c7 checkmate. Okay, so after knight to b5, we can see that queen out to a5 is not a good defense. So after knight b5, knight a6 is played, then we have queen takes b7, and here there's several possibilities as well. So if the queen moves out to e4, then that would be the mainline variation, and we'll look at that in just a minute. But let's take a look at what happens if bishop takes on d1. Then we have queen takes a8 check, and knight takes a7, and here white is completely winning up a minor piece and also having a really nice attack. So that is not very good for black. So therefore, after queen takes b7, bishop takes d1 is not good. After queen takes b7, rook to b8 could be tried, but then white will simply take that with check. Black has to take back, and then there's knight c7 checkmate. So what happens after queen takes b7, and we see rook out to d8 instead? Well, then knight takes check, and the only move is to take back with the knight, and then we can see that black's queen is going to be hanging at the end of this variation. Now, you don't want to take the queen right away, because then there would be this checkmate, and so you don't want that to happen. Okay, so after queen takes b7, we looked at bishop d1, we looked at rook to b8, we looked at rook d8, and let's take a look at queen to e4, which is the mainline variation, because the queen is defended by the knight, so the rook is defended for the moment, and the queen is also attacking the bishop. Well, here white simply takes a knight, black takes the bishop, and then the attack continues, queen c5. Trying to stop knight takes on c7, but then queen b7 hits the rook, and then if bishop takes on d1, well, we'll take a look at that in a moment. But what happens if black ends up moving this rook away? Rook to d8. And then we have knight takes check, queen takes, bishop check, and the queen moves over and white wins the queen and wins a lot of material. And if the knight defends, then white just simply takes the queen. So that is not very good. So we looked at queen b7, rook d8, not very good. So how about bishop takes d1? Then white simply takes the rook on a8, king d7, knight out to c3, very important, because otherwise black will have a checkmate here after taking on c2. So then bishop g4 and knight f3. And here white is just completely winning. Black's king is wide open. Bishop out to b5 is coming, rook to d1, and black might as well just resign here. Well, that is a Halosar Trap. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.